when you feel ready and the divine in you is giving you that pulsation, that divine in you is giving you that inspiration, it is a conversation between you and you to say, yes, I'm ready. Work through me to be more of a conduit of service. So that for this one client, I'm showing up even bigger and can help her or him or whomever in a bigger way. And all of those other clients that are just on the periphery, they are, include them into the wholeness of all of that. You're already starting to heal them before they're in your life. Feeling all of them there. And feeling yourself. Here's what we want to share with you. Christy's journey has been a journey of 20 years of being then in service. She's been her own conscious spiritual process for 25 years. But she's been through books and speaking and coaching for 20 years. And each time she received an impulse to be more, do more, she leaned into it and said yes. She gave herself permission. You need to give yourself the permission to say, yes, I'm wanting to learn more. I'm wanting to serve more. I'm wanting to create more. I'm wanting to feel more peace, joy, love, wealth, whatever it is. Your dear one, the one you give permission, and the divine in you will then flow through you based on what you allow. Is this what you're talking about, or are you talking about more technical stuff of what could I teach, what could I do, or are you asking for the energetics of that permission?
That was basically the first part, what I'm asking, what I wanted to ask. And the second would be, what's the technique? Now it's, but I have so often the situation with my children, then they have something which hurts or the stomach aches. And I was like, okay, how can I influence that with my divine flow, and can I do something for them? And I asked my little one, the younger one, you know, come on, let's get some light through their head and do it with her together. And then I hope it will help. So my question is that the way I could do it, or is there something else, or could I ask for light through my head and this influence my children?
This is a good question, because you as a healer, if you're going to call yourself a healer, or in that moment when your daughter has a boo-boo, right? You need to feel the connection with your own divine self. And then ask your divine self to be the conduit through which the energy flows. So what Christy does, for example, if her son should have a boo-boo, one of them, she will say, do you want a healing? She always asks them, because they're the ones that need to give permission for her to work on them. And they say, of course, yes. And she will then say, Mother, Father, God, Divine Council, let me be the conduit through which this healing transpires. And then she'll put her hands on that area, wrist, elbow, stomach. Say it's a stomach ache. She'll put her hands on the stomach and she'll feel the energy pulsating out. Now, it's important that as energy is being released from the belly, that the energy moves through the hands and goes out your shoulder, so that it doesn't, then you're not picking up the energy. So there's ways of understanding. You're in the healing room. Athena and Council are in the future going to be doing a channeling and healing experience process. But for now, Cliff Note version, you don't want to take on the energy that somebody else is fighting with or is resisting. You don't want to pick up their energy and put it into your physical body. That is not healing, that's rescuing. Yeah. So when Christy does it with her son, for example, if there's or us, well, we don't have a body, but we know what to do with Christy's. We take it from a human being and we give it an outlet. So the energy is leaving, or we take our hands and we move the energy, let's say in the stomach, and we move it out the person's body. So that the energy is coming through you as light energy to move the energy out of their body, making sure not to pick it up into you're not sucking it out of them, you're moving it out through their body. Understand?
Yeah, I do.
And then to solidify it, if they are open, they can imagine bringing light down to the top of their head and moving it out. Now we will say one thing. Christy has a friend. They have been friends since college. They used to waitress together, and they've been through everything in life. She looks like Christy's sister, and they are asked a lot of times if they are sisters. They could be. But she does not know. She knows Chris is a coach and author, but she's not open to healing, let alone if she saw Christy doing this, she would flip her lid. And still loves Christy, of course, and would still love her, but is frightened by it because she doesn't understand it. And she broke her ankle. And Christy, when she was with her, said, "Can I help your swelling go down?" And she was, "Okay, I don't know what you're going to do." Christy did the same process and asked her girlfriend to bring down light, and was kind of very timid in doing it. Didn't really full force believe, and so therefore didn't really do it. And her ankle did not heal. Same exact experience, sitting on a soccer field with a father of one of the kids who was friends with Frederick and her, and he all of a sudden did something to his ankle, and his ankle was swollen up. And he was saying how he could barely walk and the doctors can't find anything. And he knows what she does. And she said, "Come over here, put your ankle on me." So as the soccer game was going on, she was healing. As she's watching the soccer game, she's using her body as to be a conduit. Within minutes, you could see the swelling went down. Within minutes of that, he stood up for the first time on both feet. After the hour, he ran to go get a ball. The man could not walk. We say all this because the conduit, which was Christy for both of those people, both of being ankle examples even, same body parts, were the same. What is different is the accepting of, it's always this way, it's with you all too, it's the accepting of the light. The light goes where it is accepted. So understand that's an important part of the equation of healing too, is the person, and we imagine your children, it is very handy for a mother or grandmother even to have as a tool when the little ones bump themselves and you're able to give a nice healing to them. Good for now?
Well, this leads me to another question. Some of my clients, they do not success. And is that one of the reasons because they don't believe in it? They come to me and they want to believe it, but actually they are not believing in what I'm doing, and that's why I'm not succeeding. And is it always like this, or are there other reasons why they are not succeeding as well?
Well, it's not that someone hires you and says, "I want success," but then doesn't believe that they can have success, and that is not because of you and your ability. It is because their own belief of how much success they will allow or not. And as a coach or healer, whatever you want, as a helper person, it is really dialing into where do they not believe or allow their own success. So there's more digging to do. As we look at someone from our perspective, we see the hologram. So we can see where someone has blocks of success. You're not quite there to understand exactly where the energy blocks are, but the person knows there are blocks there because they can feel it. They don't allow themselves to go. There's not a place of expansion. There's like a block. And that can be released through looking at the block. Where did the block come from? Really discovering what the person wants and letting them be in alignment with what they want, the success that they want. And if it cannot flow because there's a block, and then it is working with the block. This is a big conversation. There are beliefs there, and it might have been imprinted from younger self, but it doesn't mean that you cannot be the conduit for their evolution. There are ways of shifting a belief. Have them, they know how they feel, like with all of you. There's always going to be, for every human being, a leading edge point where they feel their way into something and then they feel they can't go further. And that not being able to go further is where their imprints are. Or maybe sometimes, like with all of you, it might just be a shift of a perception. Just shifting the perception a little bit. Look at what happened when you started today with discussion with Christy. With the question you had about masks and mask being a choice. That was a conversation. It was a perspective change. And it opened up for you, yes?
Yeah.
So this is what we are talking about, is helping someone attune their energy, that shifting their perspective shifts their energy. You can do that. And you are not in a place that most coaches have gone to. Every coach gets to a place to say, oh, am I enough? Do I know enough? Am I doing enough? And this is part of the growth process, not only for your client, but also for you. Christy went through this too. She's just been doing it a lot longer. So now she knows exactly where to go, what to do, taps into her intuition, her divine self, the council. It will come. It's a growth process. You don't pick up a guitar and start playing the guitar and play Little Mary Had a Lamb, or what song that is, or Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star, and then be able to go play Bohemian Rhapsody on it. It's a process. It's a skill. It takes practice. You don't go to the piano and play chopsticks and then expect yourself to play Beethoven's Sixth. No, you would need to practice that, and you are. So be easy with yourself. You got a client, celebrate, and you're influencing and helping this client.
Yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome, dear one.